welcome. I am your host, Viveca Gravel, Community Development Coordinator for the City of Owen Sound and the River District, and you are listening to the River District Podcast. I am here with my guest, Joanna Ellenwood of Heartwood Home, and we are going to have a little chat today about all things Heartwood, antique, oddity, all of those kinds of things that you hold in your store, beautiful plants and linens and all sorts of stuff that you source yourself. So, Joanna, welcome. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. I just wanted to say I love your store.
Thank you.
Who doesn't love your store? It's easy to love. Let's talk a little bit about that. Let's start with the green stuff. Let's start with plants.
Sure thing.
You have a lot of plants in there, and sometimes you go on shopping trips. If you follow your social media handles, you can see when you do go on plant buying trips and stuff, and you are a wealth of knowledge. So where did having plants in Heartwood come from?
I've been obsessed with plants since I was a teenager. There was always a lot of houseplants in my home growing up. So I guess my mother planted that seed. And I can safely say I'm obsessed with plants. When I go on my shopping trips, I try to source the most unusual and interesting plants that I can, because obviously I can't compete with Home Depot. I try to find unusual things that brings the price up, of course, but I think the people who follow me are in it for the interesting plants as well.
Absolutely. I myself have purchased a jade. I bought a lemon tree, but I killed that. I've bought a lot of plants and I've killed them, but that's a me thing. That's not a you thing. That's just my inability to care for them. But you are a wealth of knowledge, because I know I've come to you and had said things like, I have animals at home. This is for a dark corner, or I'd like it to help clean the air. It's for my daughter's room. It's those kinds of things. And you're like, oh, okay, well, let's go for this kind of plant or that kind of plant, or don't get that kind of plant. The jade is happily on my desk away from the cats. So don't worry about that. And also, we have the ability to go to you and say, I'm really terrible at keeping plants alive. What can't I kill?
Exactly. I do try to stock plants that are easy and, can provide success for people.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, it creates such a beautiful entrance to the store itself. The air smells of, horticulture and things like that. And it's just really beautiful to walk into. It
really does make a difference.
It does.
In the store.
It absolutely does.
When there's a lot of green in there, it makes it feel way more welcoming and lush.
Yeah, and the air is just better. Mm-hmm. For sure. I mean, technically. Okay, we've come into the entrance of your store, and we've been welcomed by the plants and everything like that. Tell me a little bit more about the kind of inventory that you host in your store.
Well, primarily it's about the furniture, about the antiques. That is another seed that my mother planted, because she was the manager of a small flea market.
Oh, cool.
In the States when we lived there for a while when I was very young. And so she would take me to auctions. All of us, actually, we'd go as a family. And so I was always around furniture and that kind of action. I've lost track of where we were.
Your mother planted the seed of antiques and auctions because she owned a small shop.
What we have in the store.
Yeah.
Yeah, so primarily furniture, antiques is what I go for. But that being said, in the store we're all about community. So we have locally made furniture and crafts and art. We really want to be like a community hub in that sense. So it's not just furniture. No,
of course not. And you do have some locally made textiles and things like that, some aprons and various things as, as time goes on, different things come in and stuff. Recently, I saw some tooth fairy pillows, and those were really cute. And then, of course, you carry some materials for maintaining antiques as well. You've got some paints and things like that.
Right, that's actually a new product for us. We just started carrying Fusion mineral paint. And we're going to do workshops as well.
Oh, cool.
Stacey Fearnall, she's going to be leading a demonstration in the store very soon, and also doing workshops on how to upcycle your own furniture.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
No, I love that. And so now we've come kind of to the back of the store, and we've got some interesting stuff happening at the back of the store. There has been on occasion a freezer. I'm not sure if it's still there or not.
There is a freezer. We have a connection with a local farmer, Forsyth Farms, and she makes the most amazing pot pies. So beef, lamb, chicken, turkey, tourtière. And we try our best to keep that freezer stocked, but my oh my, they just fly out of the store. So sometimes it's empty.
Well, that's a great problem to have. So if it's empty, it's not because they haven't been stocked up, it's because people are buying them up. So make sure you get there and get them when they've come in. And of course, there's the space at the back of the store. There's a small cafe. I don't drink coffee, so it's hard to know exactly what's on the menu there, but I always know that there's some biscotti.
Biscotti and simple, basic cafe.
Yeah.
So, espresso-based coffees, lattes, that kind of thing. But it's nothing fancy. It's just very simple and straightforward and good.
People would say that a latte is very fancy.
I suppose.
I drink black tea. So that's as fancy as I get. And of course, there's the biscotti and all those kinds of things. And a wonderful, I believe it's a church pew that's back there.
Sitting and enjoying coffee.
Yeah. I myself have, pre-pandemic, when I had a very, very small infant, would go in there with a few friends of mine, one of whom had previously worked with you and stuff like that, and have a tea and have my teeny tiny baby, and they would slam around on antique toys and things, and you were a very good sport about it all.
We love having children in the store, and dogs too.
That's wonderful. And of course, there's that backspace. The previously used for storage backspace.
Oh, are you talking about my little workroom?
Is that a workroom?
There is a little workroom.
Okay, the lights are often off, so you can't tell back there.
That's right. Sometimes it becomes a disaster zone, collecting things that are waiting to be finished or whatever. But yeah, it's basically a storage / workroom.
Okay, and what is it going to be? I hear there's some changes coming.
Now you're talking about the way back that used to be Jolly's bike shop.
Okay, I see. So this is like behind the store.
That's right.
Gotcha.
Yes, there's a door that will soon lead to a restaurant.
That's very exciting. And you've got some plans. I know that you're, at the time of the recording of this, you've got some basic outlines of plans for menu and stuff like that. Is there anything that you can share for us that's definite yet, or just kind of stay tuned?
Well, there will definitely be pizza involved.
Okay.
Other than that, it still has yet to take form.
Okay. I think it's probably best to get those walls up first, and that's awesome. And so will this cater to the crowd that is going to Heartwood Hall as well?
Absolutely. We will highly encourage people to start off downstairs, perhaps in the store, look around.
Of course.
Have dinner at the restaurant, and then head upstairs for a show.
Now, will you have to go through the store to get to the restaurant, or will there be a rear access?
When the store is open, you will be able to go through, absolutely, but there will be rear access when the store is closed.
Oh, perfect. Okay, that's awesome. Interesting. Okay. Definitely got to keep that on the list of things to stay tuned for. Very excited, and hopefully when this airs, it will coincide with maybe a grand opening. We don't know. We don't know. Okay, so that's amazing. Now, I know that you will take on stuff from the community to resell. I'm not entirely sure if you do consignment or any of those kinds of things, but I do know that if somebody approaches you with an antique or something like that of some kind, you will assess it and whether or not you take it into the store. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, the things you're looking for, the things you're not looking for, and how to get a hold of you for those things?
Sure. Yeah, I do tend to access most of my furniture through auctions, but absolutely a major part of my business now is people downsizing, bringing me furniture. Things I don't take glassware or plateware or silverware. I find that those are a really hard sell right now.
Yeah.
I do take furniture of all shapes and sizes and descriptions. If it's a very large piece and it's very valuable, I will take it on consignment.
Okay.
Rather than purchase it outright. And I usually ask that people email me photographs. That's a great way to start the process of bringing something into the store.
Okay, so if, let's say it's a large wooden dining room table, they should probably take pictures of any markings on it in terms of stamps or anything like that, of years it was made and who it was made by and all those kinds of things in terms of photos, but then photos of the entire size of it and maybe some measurements too?
Definitely. That really helps.
Okay.
And one thing that we always do try to do is to get a background history or any stories on the piece, because potential buyers love to hear about the history of it, maybe who it belonged to and what it was used for.
If it's haunted.
Yeah, we've sold some pretty great stories.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. Okay, great. So no grandma's china. And sometimes I see that you have some old dolls and things like that. Are there any smaller items that maybe you have a hard time finding at auction that you like to have in the store that people may have that you want them to approach you with?
I do have an obsession with antique dolls, there's no question, and my staff is constantly gobsmacked at some of the things that I will bring into the store, and I do find homes for them. Other people share my interests. Vintage games, too.
Okay.
Are quite appealing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So if somebody's bringing in a vintage game, obviously you'd want it to be in fair condition.
Absolutely.
With all the pieces.
Yeah.
All those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Good to know. And how do we get a hold of you if we have some of these items?
Probably email is best.
Okay.
So the email address is kind of complicated. It's hrtwdhome@gmail.com.
I'm going to have them put that up on the screen.
Sweet.
And where can we find that email address? Is it on the website?
Absolutely.
Okay, so what is the website?
heartwoodhome.ca.
Okay, and while we're here talking about all these things, what are your social media handles?
So Facebook, we're just Heartwood Home, and Instagram, Heartwood_home.
Okay, that's amazing. Now, of course, Heartwood Home and Heartwood Concert Hall work kind of in conjunction with each other. You, of course, are always promoting all of the events coming up as well, and you're
Sell the tickets.
and you're the box office.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's something to take into account if you are looking for tickets from or for any of the events happening at Heartwood Home or Heartwood Concert Hall. You're going to want to go into Heartwood Home during their opening hours. But you can call and pre-book those tickets for pickup and stuff like that, right?
No, that's not an option, I'm afraid.
No,
You can either
okay.
come to the store and purchase tickets directly from us, or you can buy online.
Okay, and so when you buy them online, you print them out via your email?
You don't even have to do that. You just have to show the QR code at the door that you're emailed.
Okay. So those are your two options to get your tickets. You can buy online and show them your QR code when you go in on the day, or you can go into Heartwood Hall, Heartwood Home during their opening hours and pick up tickets for any of the events. And now, of course, you guys are really great at promoting whether or not there are a few tickets left or if the event is sold out and all of those kinds of things. So very rarely will you run into a time where something has sold out unless the person walking out of the store bought the last pair. So, thank you so much, Joanna. We're out of time already.
Wow.
You're so worried about having to fill up the time, but you've done an amazing job. I will just give you this last moment to say, if there's anything you want to say to your customers, your clientele, anything you want to give us a little hint into the future or anything like that, this is your moment. Do you have anything? Put you on the spot.
Totally. All I can say is come on into the store. Actually, we just finished doing a huge store reorganization. So the store looks totally fresh, and that always brings new things, well, old things, to the forefront. So yeah, come on in and have a look. It looks completely different.
And that's awesome. You do those refreshes a couple times a year.
At least.
Yeah,
I get
seasonally.
bored pretty quickly.
Absolutely. Okay, well, you know what? Thank you so much for coming in. And this has been very insightful. And I'm really glad to have had you sitting at this table with me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And to all of our viewers and listeners, I am your host, Viveca Gravel, Community Development Coordinator with the City of Owen Sound and the River District. And you can always reach us on our socials at River District OS. And of course on our website at owensoundriverdistrict.ca. Thanks so much, and we'll see you later.